Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Dawn of War 2 cast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, Master of Propaganda. And my apologies for the lack of an episode last week. Some things really didn't align well for me, so yeah, sorry there. Anyways, we're having a 1 vs 1 right here today between Manonmars fighting for the Eldar for an unknown craft world. The Imperial Archives are not quite sure on that one. But fighting here versus the Orcs under Dejavu, led by a mech boy. The Eldar striking to deny the Orcs whatever purpose they are doing here, maybe building up for a war or the equipment needed for war. Clearly their craft weren't foreseen in danger. What we are seeing here, some shooter boys and slugger boys versus Die Avenger squads here with a Howling Banshee unit already out here for Manonmars, himself leading with a Warp Spider X-Ax. So both players actually being commanders that can actually jump out quite rapidly, so that should actually be a bit of an interesting sort of development already there, though. The X-Ax will be a bit more sort of possessive of firepower compared to the mech boy. Shooters already under fire, aggressively pushing up the right flank. Where's the Orcs? Moving up the left flank. Well, the mech is leading up the left. British shooter. Daka, and we got a few generators going up there. And already here, the big shooters are on the way for the shooter boys, adding more Daka to the mix. While the Eldar are slowly trying to secure more territory, they are finding themselves a bit opposed here by the Orcish hordes.
Shooter most bigger at your service.
Bit of quiet here. Both sides surprisingly sort of short on units, although we do see a lot of generators going up here for Manonmars, whereas Dejavu is sort of also going up for some, but at the same time he's for an Orc surprisingly short on presence. Not usually what you sort of expect from Orc, but there we go. Apparently was waiting up for some Storm Boys. Jumpy, also choppy infantry. Ready to engage though, pointy it gets from up close. In a manner they probably won't try to make a bit of harassment, and there we go. Quickly popping away and then running away to fight another day.
Shooters ready for you, boss.
Shooter boys slowly marching up the right flank, the chopper boys following up. And soon the Storm Boys will be going for the war.
We got it, boss, we got it. What do you want with it?
Eldar not really seeing much out of that, still struggling there with the map control. Not getting a lot of units, maybe getting some upgrades. We do in fact see improved targets as we increase the range and the damage here of the X-Ax with a heavy gauge death spinner being added on. We're seeing more shooter boys here and running with Dejavu at the same time, so now a bit more there for the Orcs, while the Eldar is sort of hoping for a smaller force on the other hand, with the X-Ax leading in both speed and damage. There we go, the Storm Boys quickly jump in and engage the X-Ax with the Lee and big choppers. The X-Ax here actually holding on a bit further, getting up some good damage. I mean, with those two abilities, they do seem to do a lot there versus the Orcs. Meanwhile, focus up here on the left flank, whereas the Orcs are busy here. In fact, going straight for the power generators. So the choppers, or the slugger boys, might want to lead there. Got a Guardian weapon team there on the way. Orcs falling back in the face here of the X-Ax, a testament to his current amount of firepower available. We got the Die Avengers there with the aspect of the Avenger, adding a bit more danger to them as well. As the Orcs continue to fire large amounts of lead into that power generator. Daka.
Got a job for us.
Got some knocks on the way somewhere. There we go, shooter boys. Eldar staying spread out here thinly, hoping to keep the Orcs guessing, I imagine. In this case, it didn't quite work out the way the Eldar had foreseen. The amount of bullets going in the way might have been a bit too much. At the same time, the Die Avenger here forced away, unable to avenge anything, Dire in fact getting their faces beaten in. Not quite any luck there. So far, neither side really taking up. We also got a bit of a take up here for the upgrade for the mech with a battery pack, which gives him a few abilities to have a chase, which allows him to sort of buff up while you of an energy. Generators are getting wrecked by the Howling Banshees. Returning a bit of the favour here against the Orcish Horde. More generators going down in fact though. Making that a bit pointless. Except delaying power and manpower a bit there, or precision. Orcs flying back there, the Storm Boys supported by the Shooter Boys. Looks like both have been upgraded with knobs. And oh, the other mech here took a gut full of shuriken cannon. Even Orc physiology could not really hold that back. And now we see the Shooter Boys in that troll as well. Exarch and the shuriken cannon plus Avengers really tearing into those Shooter Boys, forcing them on the way. Off. Still neither side really showing any signs of taking up at all. And the Eldar still sort of short, a bit loose, but at the same time the Guardian weapon team sort of, well, goes against that a bit. Being a heavier support team, which is notably less mobile. So it does seem a bit awkward.
Got me shooter, live.
There we go, Howling Banshees with the aspect of strength, moving in, and to back down the foul Orcs.
Where you want the daka?
Dare stand against the craft world. Something like that. Mech boy back up on his feet already again. There we go. Banshee Howl and the Shooter Boys, they're finding the shooters aren't really much worth up close there. And there we go. Banshees executed the entire lot. The knock there did not stand a chance either. There goes the Shooter Cannon joining in, but the Storm Boys easily jump ahead, carrying naught. That, and we've got the mech jumping in as well. They got the entire Banshee, and somehow most of them are still alive, but they're all in a pretty terrible condition. Grenade here, but the Shooter Boys being more nimble than that somehow. You will have to get the Executor jumping in on the other side. Diving just moving out in the open, perhaps not the most tactically wise idea. But no, they are. Themselves run off, and you might see some Slugger Boys trying to beat them there in the customary Orc fashion with a really big knife.
Ready for action, coming at us.
Forces running from the north here. There you go, even the Storm Boys are joining in, really trying to get those dive engines, but one spot, one survivor makes it away with only a sliver of health. And perhaps not the best of conscience.
Where's me squig
Got the
ointment?
Guardian Robot moving in there, we've got the Banshees following up, the Exarch hiding. And there you go, trying to catch the Orcs in the crossfire, Sluggers coming down the fire. We've got both taking up there, but Dejavu's got a bit of advantage there with his Orcish hordes. And now the Storm Boys are finding themselves being pelted here with all manners of alien shot.
Here for yous.
Slowly making his way back here. And there we go, creating a custom force field. Could be any other units that are being upgraded or anything like that.
Life is good.
Big shooter there on the way. Mech getting out of the way. And we got Manonmars swift advancing for the craft world. Taking points and taking names. Well, probably not names. Orcs never been big on naming stuff. Unless they're big enough for being named.
Lock and load, boss. What is it? Got me shooter. Life is good. Shooter most bigger.
And there we go, a really big Storm Boy knock, the biggest rocket on the board. And there you go, Howling Banshees howling out of there. As the Storm Boys quickly set about them. Left flank seeing a bit of light action from the Dire Avengers. No further units here, no upgrades or anything like that for Manonmars.
This battle be
We got burners here on the way for the boys. And there we go again, once more flying as gracefully as a turkey through the sky. The Storm Boys go at it. Forcing a full retreat, then going straight out the power generators again here on Manonmars. He might want to begin to consider response there, and there we go. Autark popping up from above. Sitting back trying to do here with the Storm Boys, still with the Neck Boy nearby. Things might look less grand. Looks like they will not really actually care about the Autark, instead of just cutting down everything. I imagine that might be considered a bit of a slight there to the Autark. Her rage, rather not really bothering the orcs. Oi! Something. Anyways, going in there viciously, aggressively. And Storm Boys storming the other way. As the Eldar move forwards, full of fury, less of power. And then go straight into the orcs, engaging them in a vicious melee, getting some presto. You also got an executioner here, hopefully giving the Outtake a bit more ability to skewer the orcs, and there's just poking them and sniping straps in their backs. We got a custom field reinforcement going up here for the mech core as well, absorbing fire here from the Eldar. At the same time, all of this happening, using the Guardians to clear out the generators. Perhaps not the most cost-effective manner of doing that. Not really effective with that. You'd usually be better off using something else with a bit more power to them to do that. Just saying. And there we go, the shooter boys moving up there with a big shooter, ready to remind the Eldar who's got the biggest guns. What was happening up north here. The orcs are really aggressive, claiming of course a bit more focused now. There's Manonmars still to an intent, but again the harassing attempt on here not really working out well. Quick flash will take there, there's the orcs, but that does not really seem to have much of an effect there. In fact, he does not slow them down. Except there's one more boy that fell. Where you want and there we go, diving, you run off the field. Even stole some power generators away from the Eldar. In fact, we see this we're rapidly taking up. Then all of a sudden, when things were rather slow in taking up, we now see a rapid move towards it. We also got a force field shield going up here for the Outtake. A veteran Eldar warrior of many warrior shrines, combining them into a greater art, and also acting as a general, I believe. There you go, going for the victory points. In fact, things are looking a bit bad for the Eldar there, though they might be able to turn around. Guardian Infantry moving ahead.
Where's me squig ointment? Ready for a
a lumbering horde of orcs once more advance upon the Eldar, who might soon find themselves with a lot of big things upon their heads. Go! Exarch once more coming at the orcs on the left side. They're really tearing into them. Already level 3. I don't think he's also level 3. Never mind then. Seems a bit more impressive then. Quiet here. The Eldar not striking more directly, sort of spreading out again. It's also for a more focused overwhelming assault. There we go though. Banshees howling, but for some reason, despite all of that, the orcs are making short work of them. Slugger boys head on assault, running into a bit of a problem there with all the shots going in the direction. Fighting continues. We might see the howling banshees wiped out. Again, low on numbers, but this time, and low on health for that matter. Some are still making out there. Got the Outtake dropping in, but the force field might not resist the violence of the orcs for long. Exarch is doing what he can to aid the Outtake and fight against the orcs. Almost got there with the storm knocks, and there we go, quickly getting away. Leave behind only the mech to deal with this, which he's not really suited for. But the rest of the boys are getting ready again. We've also got some knobs there. Already getting the meaner and greener ability. It certainly makes them meaner, though I don't know if they actually technically become greener.
Got a job for us?
I don't think so, though. Swift moving up the left flank. A bit more harassment there from the orcs now, getting a bit bolder, in particular now with the knob unit on the field. But again, a surprisingly low unit count from the orcs. Seemingly here, Dejavu sort of opting for a smaller, more elite unit, in particular having the Storm Boys lead, well, the charge. There you go, Knob squad. Maybe try and get close there also with their own knob already attached. More knobbish than the rest. Oh, there we go. Finally got one of those damn generators. Now, didn't you, Manonmars? Too bad again. You're not really using the unit that's best suited for it. Banshees would have been able to do it much faster. So I'm not entirely sure why you sort of keep switching them around. I mean, it's not really cost effective. No, it just gives more time for the orcs to react and, well, put a big bullet to their head. Right here though, howling banshees make very short work of the Storm Boys. Not sure why I didn't just jump away. Instead, we do see here the knob getting skewered.
Shooter's ready, boss.
A loss there for the war. For Dejavu, though, he might of course soon get something that might make up for that from the 3rd tier.
This better be worth me while.
Wraith Lord on the way here for Manonmars. Interesting, interesting.
Most bigger. Hey, I did that great.
Rocks going in. Desperately attempting to get that Guardian team. Get some of them, and mostly also gets that damn non-Orcish ground.
Where's me squig ointment? Locked and loaded, boss.
Victory point slowly turning against the Eldar still, though they are a bit more ahead of the Orcs now. I still want to put in a bit more effort, get some more units out on the field and get to, well, wipe a few more squads. Maybe frozen up things a bit more, using the mobility to sort of quickly surround units one at a time and knock them out. And stop using the dire Avengers to try and take out the generators. That's like asking an Orc to do ballet. Not really effective or a pretty sight. And there you go, Guardians or Avengers finding something they're a bit better suited towards, but quickly found themselves under fire from the Orcs with their big shooters. And Daka, and we've got some huge hammers up there for the Orcs. Knobs, getting a little bit more, well, punch, if you will. Crump. And there you go, got the out-attack one for striking into the Orcish shooter horde. Looks like we've got an upgrade here, the Beamy Death Gun, which would certainly work well here versus the Wraith Lord. And there you go, now it's getting caught up in a tangle. We've got the Wraith Lord joining up here as well with a shooting cannon upgrade, increasing its effectiveness versus infantry. And there we go, a bit of a circuit effect there, making them more or less temporarily invincible. So the Wraith Lord might help them by concentrating on the other Eldar, though, might want to get a game out. They're not really that durable. Very low on health there, and there you go, retreating. No, as soon as that effect wears off, there we go. Orcs getting murdered. And there you go, the entire Norp unit wiped out. Now Dejavu, on the other hand, is in a lot more sticky situation, down to 2 units of his mech. Whereas the Eldar have notably more than that. And oh no, the mech here as well, getting a bit too confident and getting caught here by the Eldar. Level 5 there, level only 3 now for the mech. Definitely an advantage, a big game for the Exarch as well. More health, more damage, more everything. Except more Orky.
Got me shooter, life is good. Yeah, what is it? Got me shooter, life is good.
Wraith Lord though will definitely need some repairs. Not looking too good here. And what is this? The mech calling in one of his looted tanks from Imperial stock. That might cause the Eldar a bit of a headache since they are less prepared for tanks. Coming out with dire Avengers to get repaired.
Where's me screen?
Getting back the power generators there, good for Manonmars. Getting that point and getting that Wraith Lord repaired as well, that is also good. Oh, not sure what happened right there, my apologies. I'm guessing some kind of technical hiccup. Always fun when those happen. There you go, we got the little tank here arriving. Talking about snacks under the seat. Good about that, no, actually I didn't not. Swiftly rolling ahead there. And now might give the Eldar. Oh, I'll talk about to quickly go down, Portugal down. Howling Banshee is moving ahead here. You got the Guardian Whips moving up there, but the heavy shooting cannon pretty much pointless versus the big army here of the looted tank. And now we see here that the Howling Banshees have another reason to howl. They did a bit of damage here to it, and oh, there we go, aim shot there against the Guardian team. Shattering pipe work, but not really through that, the Sluggers province.
I got control, so big thing.
I want to use the mech boy to afterwards repair that looted tank, it's a bit damage there. You could also consider upgrading with more armor, which I do believe is available for the Orcs. And there we go, Wraith Lord ready. He might regret now not having gone for a Bright Lance instead to sort of help versus enemy armour. Of course, you can still try and get close and do some nasty damage that way. But certainly lost a bit of opportunity to do some extra damage to the vehicle. They will give the looted tank a bit of advantage if you can just drive away from the Wraith Lord. So unless he managed to ambush the looted tank from a certain angle, he might find himself in a bit of trouble dealing with it. He's otherwise rather short there on anti-tank assets. He is upgrading here for the Bright Lance on the Shuriken team, but still involves some setup times. Another knob unit there on the way for Dejavu.
Got a job for us. Oi, lock and loaded, boss. This better be worth me while.
Bit of fight. Gut taking up here for Manonmars. No further upgrades, maybe some kind of armor upgrade or better weapon, who knows. Got more wetway gates going up, got more generators there, so it's really building up for power. It could be he might be aiming for an avatar. That is certainly possible, Instead it might be more power for the orcs. And there we go. Looted tank repaired. Victory points those now going slowly more against the orcs.
What is it?
There we go. Nob leader. Biggest and the greenest. And getting some of the power generators. Hell, there we go. Got battle. Looted tank moving here, but they come in the first one with Bright Lance. Nice bit of damage to the looted tank. We got the howling bounce getting suppressed by the shooters. Daka. And there we go. We got the Wraith Lord caught in the middle of everything. It's getting swamped here by Orcish infantry. And there we go, looted tank going to take advantage. She opened up there, and there we go. Wraith Lord taking absolute heavy damage. He can't get it out of there. Manonmars underestimated the power of Orcish numbers, and he's just getting wrecked here. Wraith Lord lost, then Eldar warrior brought back from the dead. Well, returned to the dead permanently, which means right into the hands of Sluggish. And there you go, got a phase shift there. And calling in something on top there as well. Might get the knob there, might not. In the end up also doing nice damage there to himself, which perhaps was the intended effect there. I'll touch dropping in too. Might get the mech again, though the mech does seem to quite alive quite a bit here. Compared to the Eldar, who's been able to keep his X up quite alive there. Level 6 now. That was definitely a heavy blow there to the Eldar craft world with that Wraith Lord down, whereas the looted tank is still, surprising enough, still operational. And not getting much to the surprise of the crew and the mech itself. The victory point is even going against the Orcs now. They need to sort of try and recapture that, and the Eldar need to get something a bit bigger. A tank of their own could work. I think saving up for an avatar now might be a bit risky, considering they're themselves also a bit short on victory points, and they're also rather short on resources, so aiming for something a bit more sort of intermediate might work. Maybe Wraith Guard could help, or Falcon, Fire Prism, something like that might have just the sufficient effect, at least for the time being, versus the tank and its attendants. Come on, Manonmars. This is a bit of a Dejavu. Oh, thank the heavens. He didn't bother with that this time around. On the other hand, we run straight into the Orcs, and we got the tank moving up there from the side. Sponson guns firing, including the main gun. Guardians getting their faces stomped in.
Waste pitting! For a fight.
Eldar being surprisingly passive here. And right here we actually see that Dejavu's leaving up his tank a bit on their own, splitting it out. That could actually result in a quick ambush. Do that though, Manonmars lacks the means for sort of quickly doing it, but at the same time though, we do have a warp gate here, but no, he doesn't do void. He could easily have popped out, I think, out of that gate and surprised the looted tank there quickly. Maybe got off some good damage forcing away, but no, he missed a golden opportunity there to do some serious damage there to Dejavu's Orcish armor capabilities. And there we go. We actually get a D-cannon weapon team. An interesting position there. I mean, he's certainly got a lot of firepower, but at the same time, static weapon that can take this tank about. Some otherwise aggressive orcs. It might have less of an effect here. Looks like someone got their face smashed in. Looks like the Autark was not able to escape this time around, instead getting her face crushed quite severely. And now the Bright Lines team is the next up. The cannon team arriving, but very much in the department of too little too late there, and setting up right in front of the knobs. Not the wisest idea there. And the crew immediately begins suffering some loss there from the orcs, obviously. And come on, Manonmars, you're not the one called Dejavu. You're not supposed to be doing the same thing over and over again, leaving your opponent with a sense that something's happened again already.
I've got control, you big thing.
And there you go. The tank once more arrives, once more opens up, once more begins killing those pointy-eared gits.
Speed!
Showing them who's got the proper gun. Eldar moving up once more. We got, what is this? Entangling web. Two cannon teams moving up. Still a bit short here on units. In particular, more mobile ones to sort of hold up the orcs while the cannons shoot. I mean, it's very potent, but again, you know, Wraith Guards could also have done that. They'd all be a bit more mobile while their setup time. Oh, there we go. Phase shift there, trying to sort of keep them occupied while doing that. The thing is, they can't take damage while they're phase shifted as well, which rather was the point. Oh yeah, that seems to work out alright. Unit wiping out. The slugger, no shooters actually. But at the same time, it certainly lacked a bit of a punch there. Still forced off the field again, and in fact, even as the shooters were wiped out, a second looted tank arrived. Another smoke-belching machine, somehow held together by orc belief in it working.
Best be for a fight.
But with two tanks, including one veteran to flee, it's definitely looking like a steep climb here for the Eldar of the craft world. Very steep, in fact. In particular, lacking in something that can sort of really take on those tanks by now. Moving ahead, cannon teams first, coming out of fire. There's the cannon already pummeled there. We've got some shots that are going off there as well. Holy Banshees moving in. Guys from the other side, and there we go. Phase shift catching the Eldar as well. Yeah. And another strike there. So we've already got the mech moving into engage the cannon teams. Oh dear. That rather looked like that he murdered his own there. Whoops. That's generally what you don't want to do with your Eldar abilities. You don't want to turn your own troops into mincemeat. Looks like that might be it. Eldar on a complete run. The craft world has failed. Victory to the war. So there we go. Game over. Game over. An interesting play here by the Orc. Usually you'd expect a lot more units out in the field, but Dejavu for the larger part sort of kept it short, just sort of focused more on specific units, and his mech doing alright, jumping around. To a certain extent keeping good map pressure though. At a certain point there was a tipping point where Manonmars gained the advantage. Manonmars, on the other hand, had a harder time sort of making anything with it. The Wraith Fault was a good move. Shuriken Cannon, less good. Bright Lance might work better here, particularly versus the cannon. Then he got sort of caught up in all the orcs, lost heavily there, and then sort of things began tumbling down. I think definitely the meat cannon was a mistake. Something else should have been added to the field. maybe having that ability out, they could sort of wipe out units fully there. Might have been also more aggressive use early on because we were forced onwards. But otherwise, interesting play. 2 looted tanks out there, definitely giving Dejavu this armor advantage. There also one thing that sort of really bugged me was how he sort of, that is, Manonmars kept sending in Guardian teams to sort of clear out the power generators. Again, they're not really good at that. You should have sent in the Banshees to sort of sort them out. You could have done much faster. You could overall kept Dejavu from progressing tech-wise as fast as he did, and that was basically one problem. He didn't really strike it well enough, and he also kept handing over power generators to Dejavu. So, I mean, in that regard, you know, kept making 2 mistakes, which overall gave Dejavu quite the sort of longer-term advantage here versus Manonmars. In that regard, there were some strategic issues there from Manonmars, which he needs to sort of overcome for another fight here. So I think that really sort of covers it. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, want to subscribe to your friends, share it with everyone. Otherwise, you know, send it a replay on. I could really do with more Dawn of War 2 replays. Otherwise, thank you all, and see you another time. Cheers!